Hello.
How are you?
Good, thank you.
So, tell me about Julie.
Okay, so I was married back in 1989 and we built our first home in Joondalup in Perth when interest rates were 17%, as we've already spoken about today. So I had 3 gorgeous children, and just before I met you, I was living with, married to my husband and living with my 3 teenage children and my 2-year-old grandson. So my daughter got pregnant at 16 and dropped out of school, and we had this gorgeous little boy in our home. We tried investing in property over the years. It was something that I really wanted to do, but unfortunately we hadn't got it right and we had lost money in property. So my husband and I were both working full-time, and at that stage we had a PPR which was worth $400,000 and we owed $250,000 on it. So I had no confidence that I could actually get property right, even though I tried. So when I saw you speak, the light bulb moments that went off for me were that I could actually create cash flow and I could exit the rat race. That it was possible to invest in in property even without money, because I needed to be able to start with very little money, and that also that our situation could be turned around quickly.
That's very good. So you got a bit of confidence back. If somebody else can do it, you can do it, kind of attitude. So this was your original position. That was your home there. What happened then? Okay,
so we were living in Joondalup. I had grown up by the beach in Trigg, and I'd gone to the beach, most days of my life. So living where I was living wasn't my ideal place to live. So I really wanted to buy a dream block by the ocean. So that's what we did. Then we bought 2 house and land packages to try and get some cash to start building the house. So we sold our PPR, bought a block, but I needed cash to build the house. Halfway through the build of the second house, though, the GFC hit, and we were stuck with a property market that was going down, and
a half-finished house.
A half-finished house, so we had to keep going with it. So by the time it was finished, had to sell it for a loss. We were renting because we'd sold our home to buy a block, so we ended up just moving into the first investment house and land package that we had built. So that became our new PPR.
And so this is all pre-ILRE?
Pre.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Then you came along in 2011, which is just after GFC. What happened?
At that stage I was afraid of ever investing in property again. My husband, who was the one that he was just wanting to make money somehow, and he said, I'm going to a free property education event in Perth. And I said, well, I'm going to Yellingup with my girlfriends because I'm not getting sucked in anymore and we're not doing it. Came back from a lovely weekend in Yellingup, and he said, you cannot not see this lady speak. She's not coming back for 12 months, so I've booked tickets to Sydney so we can go and see her next free event.
Wow, okay.
Excellent. I don't want you to spend money, and this is what you're doing. So we came to Sydney to see your free event, and straight away I just resonated with everything you were saying, and we signed up. So, yeah.
So this was your first deal after?
Yep. So I knew that we needed to do chunk deals. I wanted to pay down that mortgage. And also I wanted to do renovation flips because I didn't want to be stuck like we had been in a build.
You wanted something quicker?
Yeah. So I started looking all over Perth at all the different strategies that I'd learnt and I was so excited about, and then I gave myself analysis paralysis. And then I just thought, I actually know my own suburb really well. I've connected with a real estate agent here. I'm coming in every week to say hi and ask her if she's got any deals. So I'm just going to focus on my own suburb. So a week before Christmas, I think 2012, she rang me and she said, Jules, I've got the deal for you. I went, excellent, good. So we put in an offer prior to looking at it because it had a difficult tenant, and the owners of the property lived in Queensland and they were over it and they wanted it gone. I said, okay, well, we're putting in our offer of $360, subject to satisfactory viewing when we can get in. So luckily, by the time anyone else could come through that property...
It was already under contract?
Yep.
Okay. So you went ahead and you renovated this property?
Yes.
So nice little renovation you've done?
Yep. We knew that we needed to keep the reno cost really down, so putting in a new kitchen or bathroom was not going to be in the budget. So we painted everything. We resurfaced the kitchen. And we only spent $17,000, and we put new flooring through. So we spent $17,000 on the reno. So we had it bought, renovated and sold in a 4-week period. We had an estate agent come to us before we were finished. He said, I've heard about this property and I've got the perfect buyers for you. So then my husband said, well, if you've got the perfect buyers, we'll sign you up for 48 hours. Bring us the buyers or not. So he did. So we sold it for $442,500. We made $37,000 profit in 4 weeks.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, we were pretty excited. We realised that we actually had got it right and we were on the right track.
So you did it once, do it again.
Yep. So I was pretty confident, and a guy that I'd met was a distressed property expert, and he came to me and he said, I've got this deal where I'm talking to the homeowner, I've taken over the property, it needs renovating and I have no renovation experience and I don't have the money to do the renovation. So I said, okay, we've got cash because we've just done a deal and we've got renovation experience. So we became the money partners and the renovation partners in this deal. We paid out the homeowner $20,000 to walk away from the property because the bank was going to take it off him anyway, so he ended up with something. We paid out all of his mortgage arrears and council arrears, and we spent $25,000 on the reno. So all up, we paid out $60,000, and we sold it for $320,000, and it actually made a $100,000 profit.
Which is split 50-50?
Yep.
That's very good.
Yep.
Well done.
And we did that in 4 weeks.
Well done.
So you'd think we were on a roll after that, wouldn't you?
Do it again.
Well, what happened was my husband and I, our marriage broke down, and we weren't able to do another deal together. So I spent the next year just grieving and assessing my life, trying to think about what I wanted to do moving forward.
Been there, done that.
Yep. And I was working admin in a school, and I realised that that was not where I wanted to be moving forward. I had now great skills and knowledge that I wanted to make use of. So the first thing I did was just do a quick spruce up of our PPR because I needed to sell that and, pay each other out. So I just turned our sort of, quite nice but dark and a bit messy home. I spent $5,000 in giving it a good paint job and cleaning it up a little bit. And the uplift in that, when we sold it, was $35,000. So for a $5,000 spend, we made an extra $35,000. So that was really good.
Good return on investment there. So you're on your own now. How did you get into this deal?
Then people just started coming to me, basically. And this lady came to me. She said, I love property. I have no time. I'm a busy professional. I want to JV with you. I like what you do with the renos. I like that it's quick, so I want to partner with you. So I found a house in Perth's cheapest suburb. We bought it for $230,000. So she was actually the money partner. So this is the first deal that I did without my husband and with me putting no money at all into it. So we purchased it for $230,000. We spent $23,000 on the renovation and sold it 4 weeks later again for $298,000. The profit was $23,000 in that, so it's quite a small profit to share between two people. But what she could see was that my formula worked and that I could get it done quickly, like I said.
And this is in a relatively flat market.
Yes.
This is Perth, you've got to remember. Now, Perth's been dead for a while. So, I say you can make money in any market, and you can, because you're not relying on a market to give you those profits. You are making the money out of the deal. The market's not doing it for you. So don't think, I live in Perth, I can't do anything, or I live in Darwin, I can't do anything because the market's terrible. It's actually better for you because nobody else is looking.
Yep, that's true. So anything is possible, which is
anything is possible. So then we do it again.
Yes. So a different JV partner came to me and said, I'm a busy professional, got no time, love property. I went, excellent. So he wanted to JV with me. So I found the next one in the suburb that I lived in, so back to my own backyard. Yep. This one was a bank repossession and it was a very trashed house. The homeowner had graffitied and, spread paint everywhere, smashed all the windows before he left. So we were able to pick it up at a mortgagee auction for $257,000, and this is in a suburb where the median is above 400. So it was good. Our renovation cost was $82,000 because we had to replace all the windows, we had to replace just about everything in the house. And we sold it for $409,000. So the profit for that one was $39,000. It took us 12 weeks to do because we had to...
A lot of work.
Yeah, we had a lot of work. We had to order windows and all that kind of thing.
But that's good.
It's great.
You can't go broke making money. So then we do it again.
Yes. So my very first money partner came to me and said, find me another cottage like you did before, but in a better suburb. So this one is in a suburb near Fremantle, so more expensive. And we bought this one for $382,000. But this is one where we've had the most learnings because we bought it from a developer who had bought a big corner block and split it into 3. And then they were selling off the old house on the middle block. So when we bought it, the titles hadn't yet been issued, and we were told that titles will be due in 4 to 6 weeks and then you can start the reno. So the titles weren't issued for 11 months. We didn't have a clause in our contract, which we now would do, to say if titles aren't issued by the 30th of June, we get to walk away, or, some date. That would have helped. So my numbers on doing that and being able to sell it for $595,000, because we're in Perth, market going down for 11 months, and protests going on for a big highway extension as well, made this one go down. So we went ahead with the renovation. We had ended up spending $117,000, so the reno was a lot more expensive than we thought. We replaced all of the asbestos, and there was a lot of the copper pipes kept getting stolen. There was quite a few issues. But at the end of the day, we didn't end up selling it. My JV partner, we weren't really going to make hardly anything. So she decided that she would keep it in her portfolio and pay me as a project manager. So after she'd paid out everything, she then got a new bank valuation because she needed a bank valuation for all of her properties, and all of her other properties had gone down in price. So this one ended up being valued at $595,000, which was what I anticipated we'd be able to sell for. And this is the property that's actually propped up the rest of her portfolio. So
yeah, so it was a good thing
worked
for
out.
her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got 25 out of that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good on you. So number 7.
Yes.
There's no stopping you, girl.
A new JV partner.
Right.
So this lady came to me at the end of last year and said, I'm busy. She's actually looking after her parents who are dying, basically. So she wants to do property, wants to make money, but she really didn't have the time. So I found this deceased estate back in my little cheapie suburb where I've, had done one before. And we were able to pick it up for $130,000, which is, even though it was a cheap suburb, that was really cheap. So the reason we did that is because it was unlivable. It stunk. Like he had 8 cats living in there, and there had been an offer put in, accepted, but it had fallen over due to bank finance. So when we came in with a cash offer to the beneficiaries who lived in England, the lawyer that lived in Singapore,
perfect
going
deal.
on about the terrible Perth market, it was accepted. So we spent $53,000 on the reno and sold it for $259,000. We did that one in 6 weeks, and our profit was $63,000. So really great return on cash.
Very good.
Yeah.
So we talk about more important things than property. These must be your beautiful children, aren't they?
They are. So, first of all, since joining, I've been able to be happily divorced. Yep. So I've had a really positive mindset because I do know that anything is possible. So I want a happy life. So I'm happy to have an ex-husband who I'm good friends with. So that's really awesome. And although I didn't hate my job, it wasn't my passion. It was working admin in a school. And so I've been able to quit my job and live my days choosing what I want to do. and I now live in a house by the ocean, which I'm very happy about. And I'm also helping time-poor investors because they also want to profit from property, but they don't have the time or sometimes the expertise. So I'm helping them by joint venturing with them, but also I'm helping people by finding properties for them as well, because they can now trust my numbers and they, you know, when I bring deals to them, so they're very happy. But the biggest why for me in doing all of this is my grandson. So when my daughter was 19, she decided that she would move out of home with her 2-year-old boy and, you know, do it on her own. It ended up that she became a drug addict and she was living and socialising with drug addicts. But instead of her sort of coming to us, she decided to move to Karratha to get right away from us and take her son. So that got really bad. Anyway, it got bad up there. So I had to go up to Karratha and bring my grandson back and live with me. So to be able to take him to school and pick him up from school each day, because I get to choose what I do during the day, was absolutely amazing. And to give him a stable home was something that his future now looks different than what it would have if he'd stayed with his mum. But best of all is that my daughter has seen that I can create a life and an income out of not doing the normal 9-to-5 job. So she has, and also that I believe everything is possible. She's come back to Perth to live with me. She's rehabilitated. She's studied horticulture now and has started her own business. So she's the one that's supporting her son and taking him to and from school. And to me, that is the most amazing thing that I've been able to do, to be a role model for her and see that she can create anything in her life, because everything's possible. Thanks.
Well done. So you've got some final results here. You started with $95,000 in equity.
Yep.
And you're picking up there, obviously, equity on your property, so $190,000, so that's nearly $100,000 uplift there. But the real thing is, those chunk deals that you're doing, that creates an income for you.
Yes.
Because that's income. It's not equity, it's income.
Yep.
$237,000. How much were you making as an admin assistant?
About $55,000.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, I'm very happy. And when you think about the $5,000 investment in the program, what a return.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm very grateful.
Yeah. So, what advice would you give? And I really wanted to have you as a finalist because, you know, you've had some adversity, you've had things going on, you've done well, but I think you're a beacon and a shining light for having the right mindset. Because any one of you could go and do those deals. I mean, this is the flat market. This is not a rip-roaring market. It's not Sydney. It's not Melbourne. It's Perth. And it's Perth over the last few years when Perth's been down and going down, and you're still making money. So what advice would you give to people?
Anything is possible. It really is. And when you know what it is that you want to create, I just wanted to create a life where I could choose what I do each day, and that is what was driving me, particularly with my grandson. It will all come. Once you know what it is that you're doing, anything is possible. It didn't matter that I didn't have any money. I came out of a divorce. I didn't have a job, pretty much out of my choice. Didn't have a job or money to do property deals. But I knew that that's exactly what I wanted and needed to be doing. And my JV partners just appeared.
And age is not a restriction.
Yep.
You can do this when you're 90 if you want to.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't even, so I'm 58 now, but it's not even something that I think about. I feel like I'm the same age as everyone else.
Thank you. Very good. Thank you, Julie.